As you know, parts of the Midwest crippled by days of historic flooding are bracing for even more rain.
At least 15 states are under flood watches and warnings, and it's only the first day of spring. Shane Hubbard is a research scientist at the Space Science and Engineering Center at UW-Madison. Hi, Shane. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So you study this kind of thing. Put it sort of in context and perspective for us. How historic, unprecedented is this?
Along the Missouri River through Nebraska, they're setting records 3 feet, sometimes 4 feet above the previous crest. And some of these records go back 100 years. So regionally in that area, they're experiencing one of the worst floods they've ever seen. But we're also seeing flooding at the upper part of the Mississippi River and the lower part of the Mississippi River. So if we think about the entire system, it's strained from north to south across that entire Mississippi River basin. And those two floods are going to sort of come together in St. Louis at the beginning of next week. We'll be continuing to talk about flooding over the next couple of weeks and on into probably May and June.
Is this because of the heavy snowfall and rapid meltdown, or what's causing this?
So it's two different things. The southern branch of this flooding is because of El Nino. We've had a tremendously active jet stream along the southern part of the United States and dumped a bunch of rainfall, 16, 20 inches above normal over the past 90 days. The northern part of the Mississippi River system is the excess rain of the fall, and then the snowpack that we had in, and that's all melting and then draining into the river system.
So now what happens as we come into the rainiest part of the year?
This is our wettest part of the year. And so we have already streams that are above normal, and then that excess rainfall is just going to be, exacerbating that effect throughout the spring and months here. And here in Madison, in southern Wisconsin, we've had a lot of rain here as well. Streams are a little bit above normal, the lakes are above normal, and we'll probably be talking about flooding even here in the Dane County and southern Wisconsin areas through the June timeframe.
Does this seem to be happening more and more, or is it my imagination?
It's happening more. I mean, you think about 2013, 2009, 2008, 2001, 1994, 1993. Maybe 5 of our highest precipitation years have occurred in the last 10 years for the entire United States. And so certainly in the upper Midwest, we've experienced a lot of flooding in this past 10 to 15 to 20 years than we had in the previous 20 to 30 to 40 years. And what that means is communities are having to plan for bigger floods and have to think about what's going to happen in the future if we get more flooding. I was in Sauk County and we were talking about what they could be doing potentially in the future with respect to construction, how they can mitigate some of the flood impacts in the future.
I think farmers are going to bear the brunt of this. The images coming out of Nebraska are heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, early rains sometimes can be beneficial for farming, but rains to this extent certainly are not going to help farming in Nebraska and Iowa, or even in Wisconsin. I mean, things have been really, really wet here as well.
Climate change?
There's a lot of, we look at some of the data and we look at the changes in temperature, but it's not just climate change. Also think about how we're changing our landscape. We're adding more buildings, we're adding more houses. Agricultural practices have changed. Every building that we add, every stormwater system we add, every time we change our farming practices, these things end up into our streams and rivers, oftentimes faster than they did before. And so we tend to find streams can become flashier, which means when the rain comes, the streams come up quicker. And then we're starting to see more of that water in the system.
Are you able to do any kind of a long-range forecast to look, years ahead?
So we're doing that in Georgia, and hopefully we'll be doing that in Wisconsin here in the future. We're looking at 2050 and 2080. What we're finding is if we increase just small amounts to the floodplain, our damages are increasing by way more than that small change. So for example, when we increase our water by about 10%, we're seeing our damages go from 30 to 40% higher than they are today. And it's even higher when we think about the building construction that could be happening in the floodplain. That's just with existing construction, the damage is increasing by 30 and 40%.
Blacktop doesn't drain.
Blacktop does not drain.
Shane, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Very interesting. Good to see you, Shane. Thank you.